Hi, welcome back, Falcon.
Thank you so much, Somicron. How are things?
Things are wet and painful. Always a great combination.
Yeah, how's your ankle doing?
It's good. It's just a sprain, but it's pretty bad.
Yeah,
Just
sprains can be worse than breaks sometimes, I have heard.
yeah. Well, I've had both now. Bad sprain and a bad break. Just on different ankles. Thankfully, if I'd sprained my other one, it probably would have snapped where the metal is, and that would have just been like, well, that's it for that foot. Hope you didn't like it. Hope you weren't too attached. Yeah. So I've been trying to keep it up. Resting since I got back from New Zealand. I was in New Zealand, if people hadn't heard. It was lovely. You're like, hey, look over there. Lovely. Look over there. Lovely. It's like lovely in all directions.
I mean, that's what I've heard. I've heard New Zealand is a great place.
Yep. Christchurch was a little weird because it's like a big city, but they're still rebuilding since the earthquake like 10 years ago. And so there's nobody there.
10 years ago? Good grief.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Time has no meaning, we've discovered.
Yeah, no kidding. Is it just not a priority for them, or like, what on earth?
Well, okay, so basically what happened was all of the shops were like, well, the city's fucked. So they all got leases for shop property, like rentals elsewhere, just on the outskirts. And so all the people were like, well, we can just go to the outskirts. And so the shops are like, well, we have leases and people are coming here. Nobody's going into the city. Why would we move our shops back there? So,
I guess.
Yeah. So it's like we just kind of have to wait for all these leases to be up, and then maybe the shops move back because we did go into the city a couple times. There are things open. It's not like a ghost town, but it's just like you walk down the streets, and I'm like, this doesn't feel like a big city. This feels like a town with some big buildings.
Right, but I mean, my understanding of New Zealand is that everything is like the Lord of the Rings, and people just live in like
mud
Hobbit
huts,
town and stuff, right? Like underground houses.
No, that's. I think most of Lord of the Rings was filmed in North Island. Christchurch is south.
Oh, wrong island.
Yeah.
Hate that. Okay. So what you're saying is Christchurch is supposed to be a big city, like big city. Help me out here. Like 100,000 people, 200,000 people,
let's
half people.
Let's Google the population.
Well, everyone moved out, so it's smaller now.
Right, but they've had censuses since then, I imagine.
So I know. It's like at their peak,
about 400,000.
Okay.
Yeah, for New Zealand, that's
Is that the biggest city in?
No, so there is Auckland, which
right, Auckland.
Yeah, is the North Island. I stopped in there, had a layover on the way back, and it was just like rainy and cloudy, and so I literally couldn't see past like the confines of the airport. So I assume there's nothing out there.
Right.
Yeah,
I believe that's how the world works. If you can't see it, it's not there.
It's true. Yeah, Auckland is just an airport, and so I assume maybe a population of like 2,000 people.
Yeah, 1.65 million people there. So that's it's a big place for sure.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I guess every piece of media I've watched about New Zealand, like every movie I've seen set there. I mean, it's Taika Waititi stuff. Let's just be honest about it, right? Every Taika Waititi movie set in New Zealand does not feature Auckland. So my brain was like, I don't know, everything's just kind of small towns over there. But no, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big city. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So how did you injure your ankle exactly?
I went on one bushwalk.
You went outside. That'll get you.
That'll get you every time. Unfortunately, most of New Zealand is outside. So
fair.
There was a couple places inside, but yeah, we were at this place called the Peel Forest. And we were having some brunch, some bacon and egg pie, homemade. It was really good. And then we're like, hey, let's go on a walk. Where are the walks we can take our dogs on? Some of them you can't take your dogs on. We found one, and then we decided not to take the dog anyway. So someone stayed behind and sat in the car. Anyway, we started going up at a rather quick pace, and it's a rather quick incline as well. So I immediately tire out. And I'm like, I'm going back. I'm going to go back and sit down in the car with the dog. This is, like, if it was, like, 2 degrees steeper, it would be rock climbing. Like,
Yeah.
It was rough. And they're like, all right, stay here, like, rest before you go back down. I'm like, okay. I catch my breath, so I wait for about 5 minutes. And part of the hill, people have decided to be generous and install stairs, which are just like wooden planks that form stairs with dirt, you know?
Classic, right?
Yeah. And so we basically stopped at the top of those. On my way back down, I get to like the last one and I slip off the edge of it, like turn my ankle, land on it instead of anything else and go, you know.
Gotcha.
So that sucks. And I'm like, shit, did I just break my ankle? I hope not.
Yeah, it can feel that way. Sprains can hurt a lot.
Yeah, especially since it was like an audible pop, right? Like,
Yep.
So it might, like, I'm like, I don't want to touch it. It could be dislocated. That would suck. I don't know how to put that back. So I'm like, well, what's the smart thing to do here? I'm like, well, they're walking away, but I need help. So I scream. I'm like,
Good.
help. Yep. I throw my voice out. I scream so much. No, they don't hear me.
Oh no. Okay. This is a good story already. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
Spent the next 3 days on the mountain eating goats.
Well, that would be praying for goats to come towards me.
Yes.
There were no goats. So eventually I'm like, okay, I can kind of like wiggle it and it doesn't kill me. So I'm going to try and stand up. And that hurts, but it's not like impossible to walk on it. So I start making my way back down. I get to like 10 meters from the road and then I hear them behind me also coming down. I'm like, oh, thanks for the help coming down the hill, guys. And they're like, oh, what's wrong? What took you so long? And I'm like, I fell. And that's basically that story. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, I've heard that if you can walk on it, it's usually not a break. But if it just hurts a lot, but you can put some weight on it, then it's usually a sprain. But I don't know if that's true. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've broken the other ankle, so I knew what a break was like. Because when I broke that, I basically went to sit up, and I was in high school, and my ankle just went flop, 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 flop. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's not doing that. So it's better than that, at least.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I've sprained my ankles a few times playing basketball, never broken them, but yeah, sprains really, really suck.
I mean, it could still be a fracture somewhere because it is still a little like swollen, and it's been almost a week. You know,
you didn't get it X-rayed?
No.
But okay,
Look,
it's free.
But I could still walk, and I was in New Zealand. I don't know what the Medicare is like.
It's not free?
I assume it is.
Yeah.
I assume it was, but I was like, look, it doesn't hurt a lot, so it seems like it's fine. Like,
so, this is just like a masculine thing. This is you just being like, I'll just walk it off. It'll be fine. Rub some dirt on it.
I did one of those things, but
okay.
No. It's I genuinely just don't think it's that bad. I think it just hurts more than it is bad, you know?
Yeah.
Because
I get that. But when you say it could be fractured, I'm like, maybe get it checked out. I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, it could be ankle cancer. Who knows? Like, there's a whole lot of list of things it could be. It could be that I sprained it walking down a big hill, and then since I was like halfway through my holiday, I didn't have any days off to like rest it, and I kept going out and walking around on it. So it's just had no rest. That's all.
Okay. So your plan is, how much rest are we getting here?
Oh, I go back to work tonight. So
okay, so what you're saying is you're still not getting any rest, so it's not going to heal. So cool.
I've had 3 days. I've been home for 3 days, 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 days. It's fine.
And your job is on your feet the whole time. You don't have a cushy desk job.
That's true, but if it's too much, I can leave. So
I guess. I mean, assuming your work didn't like implode while you were gone. I don't know. That happened.
Well, I mean, it's not like the other baker we've been waiting for like 3 months quit after 2 days, right before I went on my holidays. No.
Nope, not at all.
Not at all.
Everything fell apart, and you're going to go back, and the building will be on fire, and you'll be like, huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
probably.
that changes things.
Yeah. Probably. That's accurate.
Do you even know what they did? What did
Nope.
they do?
I have I have absolutely no idea.
Holy smokes. All right. So you're just going to roll into work and be like, expecting the worst. I would be expecting the worst if I was you.
Oh, I'm absolutely expecting the worst. I'm expecting them to have somehow rearranged the ovens. Right.
Yeah.
The
ovens are on this wall now.
Right. I'm like, but the air vents that are built into the ceiling are on that wall. I'm like, nope, they're over here.
We moved those too.
That is what I'm expecting, yes.
Woof.
Wolf indeed.
Well, all right. Good luck with that. I hope it's wonderful.
Do
you have a plan for like if it's you're not going to rest it at all ever? So if it's still hurting after a week, or are you just going to be like, well, I didn't rest it, so this makes sense?
No, if after like 2 days at work, I'm like, okay, it's really not getting any better. Like I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, okay, the swelling is down from yesterday, right, or the day before, or however the last time I like looked at it. Right. I mean, I honestly, when I looked at it the first time, I'm like, is there swelling? And everyone else went, yes, your foot is not supposed to look like that. And so after like 2 days, like on Friday, I'm like, okay, it's really not getting better. After work, I'll go see a doctor. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this plan. Sounds like a good one.
Maybe even tomorrow.
Maybe.
Depends whether or not it's raining.
You haven't wrapped it up, wrapped up at all, or
I had a compression wrap that I was using for like 3 or 4 days, and I did have some like cold stuff on it for a while. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, got it taken care of then. Good luck. Hope it's not broken in any way or fractured.
Can you imagine them being like, "Yeah, we got to put more metal in your other ankle." Right.
You're like, Cyberpunk, here I come. First steps have been taken. Next up, new lungs.
Maybe. My throat's a little sore because last night yesterday I ate something bad, probably. It's a second casualty of being away for a week. You don't know what's gone bad in your fridge. And so I woke up at like 9 and was just wanting to hurl my guts out. Like, I don't know what I did.
Wow.
So it's...
Yeah. I mean, they say bad things come in threes. So we have ankle problems, stomach problems. What's the third thing going to be is the question.
Don't know.
Probably, how about financial difficulty?
Yeah, let's hope not. I have been playing
around there.
I have been playing Cyberpunk, and I'm like, man, I can't get the frame rate up. And I'm like, all right, like at the moment, like 70, but it's because I put literally everything on low. Right before that, I was getting like 40s, and dips into like 25. So I'm like, okay, let's.
What were you getting the last time you played it?
I don't remember.
Better than 40, apparently.
Better than 40, I would imagine. But I'm like, let's look up Taskmaster or Task Manager or whatever it is and look at the performance. Oh, my GPU is sitting at 20%, but my CPU is clocking out at 100. So let's,
Cyberpunk pegs my CPU too. My GPU is like, everything's cool, boss. We're fine. And the CPU is like, stop! You're killing me! Yeah,
so financial difficulties, I might be looking to upgrade that soon if I want to replay this game.
I guess so. I don't know, man. What do you have? What's your processor?
That was an excellent question.
Because I feel like mine's pretty good. It's an 8700K i7 at 3.7 gig, but man alive. Cyberpunk pegs the heck out of it.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I don't remember how to look this up.
So go to your start menu and type PC.
PC.
And then right click on the thing that it brings up for this PC and choose properties.
Properties, there it is. Thank you. You don't use a computer in a week, you lose all that too. I have an i7 67K. 6700K. Yeah. So it's not bad. Yeah.
Right. And it should be, I don't know if it's just like bad coding to where they're like, we really should have offloaded some of this processing to go to the GPU instead of putting it all on the CPU, apparently. I don't know. I'm not a developer. I don't understand this stuff, but it sure feels like maybe they screwed something up. I don't know. I have no idea.
You would think.
Yeah.
You'd think. Yeah. Oh,
well. Whatever. Yeah, so apparently there's supposed to be like new quests and like you can get David's jacket from the Cyberpunk anime in there.
You can also go to like their apartment and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, which looks exactly like V's apartment because it's mass produced.
No. I saw another place you can go to that doesn't look like V's apartment. There's another person's apartment in the show, and it has it does not look like Lucy's. Yeah, you can go to Lucy's apartment. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I logged in and it wasn't like, hey, here's some new stuff you can do. So I don't know if I have to go somewhere first or what. I don't know.
Don't know.
I didn't worry about it too much.
Yeah, you should just look up online, find a map, and then just go there and see if it's there.
Yeah, I just have to Google it. Good call. Yeah,
that's my recommendation.
Did we talk about the Cyberpunk anime?
Yeah, briefly. We covered it.
Okay.
Yeah. You said you were 4 or 5 episodes in it, enjoying it.
Right. Yeah, I think it finished well. I think it did, which again, you can't say about everything that comes out these days.
Sure.
I think the ending was really well done. I thought it was, man, some pretty good storytelling, good character development, some heart-wrenching stuff. The animation was great. Yeah, I can definitely recommend the Cyberpunk animes if anyone's looking for something to watch.
I will definitely get to it. I spent yesterday catching up on Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, we could talk about that. I've been listening to podcasts about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the people were like, okay, so there's a 10-year skip, which okay, fine. There's some actors we're not going to see again. We're sad about that. Whatever. That's one thing. But then to be and immediately a bunch of people die. And it's but we don't know who these people are. What's going on? I don't know. They were lost. Maybe they were dumb.
They might be dumb because I didn't feel super lost. I was like, okay, they introduced Rhaenyra. She's one of the female leads. She's married to Laenor, I think his name is. The names are a little hard, but I know who the people are. And
super hard. Yeah. They're all blonde too, so it's
yes. But he's actually gay, and she knows this. And they're like, look, let's do our duty. We'll have kids, but we'll pursue happiness elsewhere. And then it's she just had, after the time skip immediately, it's okay, she just had her 3rd kid. None of them look like him, except they all look like the commander of the City Watch.
So it's a Robert Baratheon problem.
Kind of, except she's not related to the the actual father. She does eventually, he dies, and we only had a little bit of time with him, but we set up what we need to know. It's he's the son of the Hand of the King and Lord Commander of the City Watch, and he's banging one of the Targaryens and has 3 bastard kids with her. Yeah. So he dies. His dad dies, right? It's okay, we knew who those people were. Then one person who dies who we don't get a lot of time with is Matt Smith's wife. Yeah, and he has 3 kids with them. And we're okay, so who was her in the line of succession? She might have been the 12-year-old that the king was maybe gonna marry in the last episode or whatever. But because it's 10 years later, she's 20-something, and now it's totally fine. But she more or less dies in childbirth. And then at the funeral, Matt Smith and Rhaenyra, the uncle niece relationship, they hook up. It's okay, cool. They have a blood wedding in front of all their kids, where they're cutting themselves and smearing each other. It's great.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's oh, the eldest of your kids knows that they're all bastards and knows that their dad just died. Oh, and they also know that you're all cousins. Let's scar these children for life.
Targaryens, in a nutshell.
Targaryens.
We hear a lot about them in Game of Thrones, and all the things are true.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a little Targaryen kid who's actually really badass. He steals a dragon and gets his eye cut out. And he's worth it.
He stole a dragon? How do you do that?
More or less. Okay, so I keep going to call him Matt Damon because his character's name is Damon and he's Matt Smith. But Matt Damon over there, his wife dies. She had a dragon, the largest of the dragons at the moment. And it's supposedly that dragons won't ever accept another rider other than the one that they bonded to first. But this little boy just like wanders out there and he's like, look, I didn't get it. I'm a freaking Targaryen. I didn't get a goddamn dragon. Like my egg that I had in my crib with me did not hatch. I'm bonded to no one. The other Targaryen boys and girls are bullying me. Like they putting like fake wings on pigs and being like, look, we found you a dragon. Have that.
Wow. That sounds about right for kids. Yep.
Yeah. So he goes up to this giant sleeping dragon who's mourning the death of his rider, and is like, "Hey, you wanna be buds?" And the dragon's like, "Okay." And so
does he talk to it?
Like he doesn't look
communicating with eye contact.
No, he talks in Valyrian, right? He's like Holt, and like Dracarys, and like Fly, and like. But he basically like does the whole like walk up to it with your arm out and like touch it and being like, okay, it's friendly.
Like it's a dog, right?
Yeah. Which it is.
So traditionally, would the dragon just never have another rider if their rider died?
So after he gets off the flying, the conflict where he loses the eye, because this is like a 15-year-old boy, probably younger, is that his cousins, the ones whose mother just died, her daughters, come up and be like, that dragon was mine to claim. And he's like, well, you should have fucking claimed it then. It's like, it's her funeral night. Like, give her a day. So yeah, in theory, they do take other riders after their riders die. And I guess it's a first come, first serve, but there's apparently a lot of people and like free folk have been pointing out that dragons choose their riders. So this dragon was clearly cool with this boy.
Yeah, obviously, or he would have eaten him.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not. I mean, dragons are very clear about where they stand about you, which is a good characteristic about dragons, I think.
Sure. Yeah, you always know where the dragons, what they feel about you.
Yeah. That's cool. So he lost an eye. How did he lose an eye?
So he starts to fight with his two cousins and four of his cousins. Now that I think about the bloodlines. And they're all bullying, like punching him and kicking him, and he like picks up a rock and bashes one over the face with it and breaks his nose. And one of the kids just happened to have a knife, so he pulls it, and while another kid is on the ground and he's about to like bash his head in with this rock, he throws sand in his face, and the kid with the knife like gives him a good like, yeah, and then
So it's basically like Joffrey and Arya and the Baker Kid in season 1 of Game of Thrones. Bullying escalates into Joffrey's gonna stab a bitch.
Well, kind of. Joffrey's just unhinged there. Like,
yes.
all of these kids are fighting for perceivably legitimate reasons. Like, from each of their perspectives, you can see how some of them are just defending themselves, right? Joffrey's just like, I'm gonna draw a sword on this like peasant boy for no fucking reason because I'm an entitled brat. Right. Rhaenyra actually just had like her baby that starts with her, like she's having a third kid, gets named Joffrey, and I'm like, oh, that's a bad one.
Yeah, I saw that all over Twitter. They're like, Joffrey, gross.
Yeah,
that was good. Huh. Well, all right. So you're enjoying it then? I'm
enjoying it. It was very dark in places. I will say that. I didn't
hear about that too. Reddit had some thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. At least with like the long night and the Battle of Winterfell, I could kind of see what they wanted to do, being like, it's the long night, it's dark. Here's all like the people of light are all like have fire, and so you can kind of see them. And then as the zombie horde approaches, the fires go out and it gets darker and darker and darker and harder to see. There's a kind of thematic thing there that I can see that they're going for. It didn't work, but I could see them trying. It was just hard to watch. Doing it again is not a good idea ever. Please stop.
Yeah, no kidding. There was such an outcry about that for the long night. I have no idea how nobody was like, hey, you guys, we did this once already. Let's make sure this nighttime scene, people can see it. Like, nobody did that? Or maybe they did, and they were just, like, shouted down.
Maybe.
I do love the fact that the director of that episode, I think it's Sapochnik, Miguel, he was like, screw you guys, your TVs are wrong. It's like, you need to have the settings right, and then it looks great. And it's like, dude, honestly, you can't. Right. Whatever, man.
Statistically, there is a portion of the TV out there that just like doesn't have the red component cable plugged in and is only seeing in 2 colors. But
Well, apparently, with all the settings on modern TVs, there are certain things you can do for movies, especially that are filmed in low light and are trying to be dark, but so that you can still see.
Okay.
It has to do with tint and some other stuff. I
Right.
don't remember what it is.
No.
But yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. Then again. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep.
Good. So, where's the show going? Like, what's the
so the show is largely it's Team Green and Team Blacks. So Team Green is Alicent Hightower and her party. The very first episode is the King Viserys. His wife dies in childbirth.
Right.
And he is left without an heir except for Rhaenyra, his daughter. And typically, you don't have queens be taking the throne, right? It's always firstborn sons, or lastborn son alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, the council, the small council, is like, look, the realm expects you to take another wife, and he's like, okay, but look, in the meantime, we need to name my heir, and I'm naming Rhaenyra. Like, summon all the lords, summon all the bannermen. They're gonna come and swear oaths to Rhaenyra today. That is what's happening. So she is the crown princess, next in line for the throne, and officially, but he still remarries, and he remarries her best friend, Alicent Hightower, daughter of the Hand of the King. Definitely no political maneuvering going on there, and has sons. Right, so he now has firstborn sons, and it's largely a line of succession between Team Green, which is the Hightowers, that's their color, and Team Blacks, which is Rhaenyra and her bastard sons, and assumedly, moving forward, her incestuous sons with her uncle Matt Damon.
Right.
Yeah.
Classic stuff.
That is largely what it's about.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's taken
this succession fight.
Yes, it's taken 7 episodes to get there, but that is what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw a post on Free Folk today where it was like, am I wrong, or is one side just evil and the other side is good? This isn't as like morally gray as maybe it could be.
It's not. It's a little morally gray, but only if you're like, both sides have done awful things to each other and will continue to do so, right?
Yeah, but like motives of why they want their power.
I mean, they're all playing for the same throne, like
right.
In terms of like the legalities in law in the land of Westeros, the king has named an heir, and anyone who is not fighting for that heir to take the throne is technically a traitor.
Yeah. I just mean, what do they want to do with the throne when they get it?
I mean, neither of them have like clear motives of what they want to do with the throne once they get it. Like it's like Cersei. She always wanted to rule, but to what end? It's like, oh, she just wanted to sit around and drink wine for years at a time. That's all she did anyway. She absolutely could have retired to like Casterly Rock and did that anyway. Like, I don't see the point. It's just this illusion that I need to have the Iron Throne. My family has to be the one that rules Westeros for some reason. We don't, like, neither side is putting up policies of, like, how they're going to rule. You know?
I feel like Cersei was backed into the situation where she killed everyone and took the throne. I don't think she was planning on it.
I mean, she was always planning to rule by proxy from her kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once the church and Marjorie and the Tyrell started coming after her, she was like, all right, screw it. And she killed them all and then took it. But I don't think that was... Like, she had not been working on that for any length of time, it feels like.
She was not intending to take the throne even then, because she didn't kill Tommen. Tommen killed himself once he saw that his wife and church had been blown up. So
that is true.
Yeah.
So yeah, she wasn't planning it at all. She wanted Tommen to be in charge, and then she got to be the power behind the throne, which is probably better anyway.
Right, but she had always been the power behind the throne, more or less. Right? Like, she was just looking for, like, the kids are just an excuse. She loved her kids, sure, maybe. That's always what the show said was her motivations for restraint at the best of times, and without those, she was entirely off the rails. But she was always there for power. Like, there was no, like, hey, let's just leave. We have our own castle. We get what we want. It was always like, no, my kids are the rightful heirs, therefore we're going to be on the throne. Like, but why? Yeah. It's like, do you have particular policies you feel you need to enact? or is
Obviously
it just
not.
you? Yeah, exactly. She just felt she deserved the right to rule. Right?
Yeah, and you're right. I think all she wanted power was for her kids to be in charge and to be safe, which oops, and to be able to drink as much wine as she wanted and look out windows.
Yeah, look out
And
windows and fuck her brother. So
yeah, exactly. Those are her priorities.
yeah.
I don't know.
And so like the Team Greens and Team Blacks are basically the same thing.
Okay.
Rhaenyra says I'm like the king has named me heir, so I'm the heir, and these are my sons, and to question their lineage is treason. Whether or not that's true or not is another story. So you know, there's some tensions there because everyone knows her kids are bastards, and then there's her half brothers and sisters who are actually all boys. She doesn't have any half sisters. Her half brothers who are sons of the king who feel they should be in line because the other, like, her kids are not true Targaryen kids. Like,
Right.
yeah.
All right.
That's what it shows them up. Yep.
Good. Good. Well, all right. I was gonna make a transition.
Oh, really?
From Cyberpunk. So
okay.
CDPR today announced they are doing a Cyberpunk expansion and a sequel.
And a sequel?
Yeah.
And a link for this?
Cyberpunk 2. Yep.
Cyberpunk 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
That's not what it's called. I'm going to be very disappointed.
Right.
Oh, Orion. Okay.
Yeah. So whatever it is, I don't know. They've said it's going to be set in the Cyberpunk world. Have they decided anything else? Who knows? And then they're also having they've talked about this whole Phantom Liberty expansion, like Blood and Wine for The Witcher 3.
Yep.
Yeah. So that should be good too. I don't know. And apparently they're going to do Orion in the new engine because they're done with Red as far. No, wait. How did the engine stuff work with those guys again? They made Cyberpunk in the same engine they made The Witcher in, which is insane.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I think they made a newer engine for Cyberpunk, and they were like, "Oh, we had a bunch of issues because it's new."
So they made their own engine, Red Engine.
The Red engine
they used for Witcher games.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what. Then they announced they were going to start using Unreal for future games.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So did the Red Engine 3? Did The Witcher 3? What was Cyberpunk programmed in?
Well, that's the thing. Google can tell you.
It's in Red Engine. Red Engine 4. So Witcher 3 was Red Engine 3. Cyberpunk was Red Engine 4, but it's still Red Engine. And I remember seeing some interviews with devs who were like, "This was not easy." Intended to do the things we needed it to do a lot of the time. So I think they announced earlier this year they're just going to dump the Red Engine and just go with Unreal from now on.
Yeah,
which is probably the smart idea.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I wasn't expecting them really to make another Cyberpunk game, but
no, apparently they
announced it. I mean, I don't know. Do we feel good about this? I don't know if I feel good about this.
I mean, I'm always optimistic that there will be a good game at the end of it, because good games are good games, and you can't complain about good games. It's just yeah.
Philosophical. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
They call me Plato. Haha. Look, I don't know. It's a Cyberpunk game, but we don't know anything about it. Is it also going to be set in Night City? Because we already have some understanding of how Night City functions. So do you just put it in some other big city and be like, look, it's totally not Night City, we swear. Because if it is Night City, then we already have preconceptions and some expectations for it to be better than the last one. But like, what about a Cyberpunk game that's set in like rural Alabama or something, in small towns? I don't know.
Cool. Or like in Africa or something, or in Australia. Who knows?
Yeah. Yep. Tokyo, Neo Tokyo. That would be.
I mean, I think most people would be like, "Yeah, let's do that. Let's do Neo Tokyo." Because
why not?
Weeds.
Well, weeb's one thing, and also much of Cyberpunk's like history is tied up with Japanese history.
Right.
Like the Arasakas are a big deal, and so a lot of the similar tech and themes probably are like in universe come from Japan anyway.
Yeah,
So
no, that would be cool.
Yeah, and we already know it's a giant cramped city already. Imagine what it looks like in 40 years. You know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see. And they said more Witcher stuff, right?
So The Witcher is having Sirius, which is being produced by the Molasses Flood, a company I've never heard of.
Me neither.
But apparently they're located in Boston, and they're a subsidiary of CD Projekt Red.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then a whole new trilogy.
And then Canis Majoris by a third party, which is interesting.
Canis Majoris a constellation?
So's Orion.
So they're all constellations.
Yeah. Is Sirius a...
Oh, no. Canis Majoris is a supergiant star.
Oh, okay.
It is of all the known stars, VY Canis Majoris is the largest. Okay. Neat. Has a radius at least 1,800 times that of our sun.
Nice. It's pretty big.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm looking at a star map, and when you search for Sirius Constellation, which is the first thing that the Witch is going to be happening, it actually auto-completes the Canis Major, which is Canis Majoris. And inside of Canis Majoris is the Orion Belt, like Orion, it looks like. So all three of these things are related somehow.
Yeah.
Because it could just be the naming theme, but Orion, which is a CD Projekt Red project, it has the same naming scheme that fits in with Sirius and Canis Majoris somehow, just in name at least, or at least the naming scheme. Which is an odd choice if they're not connected at all. You know? Yeah.
Agreed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure all this stuff is 5, 10, 15 years out at this point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when did The Witcher 1 come out?
Like mid-2000s?
2007, yeah. And so it was like 10 years for the trilogy to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Less than,
but also
actually.
They're working on Cyberpunk now, so I mean...
Yeah?
I think they were only doing Witcher with 1, 2, and 3. Do they have other games that they were working on at all?
CD Projekt Red?
Yeah.
That's an excellent question.
Wikipedia says... it's all Witcher stuff. It is all Witcher stuff. I guess they did Saints Row 2.
Really?
In 2009.
Okay.
What? Did they publish it?
You might be looking at the publisher.
No, developer. Oh.
Did they do the
localization?
Okay.
So that doesn't count. Why is that on the list of games? CD Projekt Red games, Wikipedia. You're lying.
I don't see it, to be honest. But I'm just on CD Projekt, not CD Projekt Red. What's the difference there? I don't know.
I don't know. See, I'm just here at CD Projekt Games.
Okay.
And it lists Saints Row 2 and like a million Witcher things and then Cyberpunk. So anyway, I'm just saying, if they're also, I don't know, like they have different teams doing this stuff, yeah, but I still feel like if you're trying to put out a Cyberpunk sequel and doing a Witcher trilogy pretty much in simultaneous development, that seems like a lot.
It does.
Especially for a company that didn't finish Cyberpunk when they released it. So I don't know why you guys are biting off so much.
I have no idea. They did Gwent, the Witcher card game, and Thronebreaker, the Witcher Tales. So they have been making other games in between Witcher and Cyberpunk.
No, I know. It's all Witcher stuff, though, I guess is what I was saying.
Well, it's all Witcher stuff. What I'm saying is they've already had two teams working on separate things. So I assume that essentially it's going to be a team for Cyberpunk and a team for The Witcher. That's how they're going to do two games at once, basically.
That'd be smart.
Yeah.
I hope that's how it works. Yeah.
And I imagine the games will hit not at the same time as each other or in the same year. So it'll be like, this year you get a Cyberpunk game. Next year you get a Witcher game.
Yeah. And they just have different teams alternating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We'll see.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if anybody was expecting any of this. I mean, I guess they talked about Witcher 4
Mm.
at some point over the last year. I remember that announcement. But then for them to be like, we've got 3 more games, 4, 5, and 6 we're planning on now. And it's like, oh, you guys are ambitious right now. What happened?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a game developer company, so obviously more games have to be developed at some point. But
I don't know.
but you reckon they just close their books and be like, all right, we're done. We made a good one. It sold 20 million. We made some bank. Go get new jobs.
I mean, no, I just figured they would make Witcher 4 and then make some plans after that. For them to be like, we have 4 massive AAA games planned now is like, okay, that's quite a step forward. Yeah.
Right. Like, here, yeah, they have them planned, but this, like, what we're seeing might be the extent of their planning on it. Like, we want to make 4 more games
Yeah.
and, like, 2 more by
Yeah.
outsider developers. So it's, like, it's not surprising that this is, like, internally what their memos say. It's surprising that they're telling us. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yes. Agreed with that.
yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to capitalize on the good, like, public opinion they've got with the anime. So, like, hey, all these people are going to our games. Let's tell them we've got more coming.
That is definitely what I think happened. I think they were like, I don't know, we kind of fixed Cyberpunk, I guess. And then the anime comes out and it's amazing. And now the most played game on Steam has been Cyberpunk for the last 2 weeks. And they're like, oh, okay, people really like us. They want more now. I'm like, no, I don't think that's
I don't.
not necessarily the lesson we want to take from this.
Are you sure the lesson we want to, like, take away from this is that we should be hyping our fans now as early as possible? Like, let's get that hype train building. That didn't backfire.
Oh, that's all they know how to do, though. That's all they know how to do. The hype train for Cyberpunk is the most involved, longest running, most money put towards it marketing hype train in the history of gaming. Like there was
It's up there
for like Halo 3 or like Halo 2.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, and they did, and Microsoft put out, or whoever put out a ton of money into billboards and into life-size Master Chief cutouts in game stores and stuff, and TV commercials and things. But I don't know. Was there as much? I guess there probably was. Yeah, all right, fair enough. There's a lot of hype for Cyberpunk, but probably not the most hype of all time.
I mean, measuring hype is always going to be a tricky thing anyway. It's like you're measuring ephemeral interests that people have. It's like if it's like, oh, this, like, we've got 50,000 people. Oh, thank you, anonymous gifter, for gifting a sub. Thank you for that. I wonder if that person was gifting to themselves. That would be interesting.
Can you do that?
I mean, if you make a dummy account, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
But what I was going to say is, like, you can't really track or measure which game had the most hype. I think that's unreasonable and kind of not worth it anyway. What I was wondering is, how little information do you have to give to Steam before you can set up a pre-order now page? Because
yeah, right.
Is this enough? Could you just set up being like, look, we've got games coming. They'll be out at some point. Give us $90 right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Steam's rules are for that. I don't think they would say no to that.
I would kind of imagine that they would be, because like, I'm looking at Dead Space. They're remaking Dead Space, and the remake's pre-order page only just went up now, and it's 3 months away from the game coming out, and so we've got screenshots and some videos, and we've seen how the game plays. They know that there is a game there at the very least. Like, if this one piece of image is all we've got for like 6 games, I don't think you can set up 6 pages being like, maybe.
Like Witcher 3 estimated release 2034. Like, yeah, Steam's like, yeah, we're into that. Absolutely.
Yeah, give us our 30%.
Yeah. Huh. So yeah, some stuff coming down the pipe, maybe eventually. Who knows? Who knows, indeed.
Hopefully,
no, go ahead. Hopefully.
Oh, hopefully it's all good. Good games,
Yeah,
good games.
right.
I want good
Guess
games.
we'll see.
Yep.
Guess we'll see. Another Twitter news: the Summoning Salt saga of the Mega Man 2 speedrunning video continues.
Oh, I hear that's got like tits all through it and stuff.
Yeah, right. As near as anyone can tell, it's because he's got a clip of somebody breaking the world record in Mega Man 2 on Twitch, and he has like a 10-second ramp and drops 3 F-bombs, and apparently that completely breaks the terms of service with YouTube, and they're pissed at him. So what he decided to do, as of he tweeted this literally 2 minutes ago, I'll be re-uploading my Mega Man 2 video with all profanity removed. So I didn't want it to come to this, but I think it's the best move, which...
I mean, yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, YouTube went back and forth on this like 4 times. They're like, we're age restricting this, and they're like, just kidding, we were wrong, and just kidding, we're doing it, and nope, we're taking it back, and now we're doing it for real this time. And it's like, it is the clown showest of clown shows at YouTube moderation.
So
who's in charge over there?
What you've got there is maybe 4 different people who internally in their own bodies hold different values of what's okay and what's not, but all of them equally hold the key to age restrict something. You know,
I guess so. I guess every single person who can turn on age restriction has the exact equal amount of power, and there's no boss. There's nothing.
Well,
I don't.
I mean, it's a matter of volume, right? Because imagine if every video that got age restricted in a day, right? And there's like hundreds of hours of content uploaded every minute. Like, there's no way to.
It's more than that, but yeah,
it's probably more than that. Yeah, but that's my point. It's like, okay, maybe at a certain threshold, like Summoning Salt's like channel popularity, like obviously the volume of uber high watched videos by decent content creators is not going to be as high, but those people have a lot of content to review, and I don't think there's any reasonable way to be like... you're not always going to be able to get it right. Obviously, there should be a way to be like, look, these are the expert level flaggers. Once they've got their seal on it, no one of a lower level should be able to fuck with it. Like a review court system. It's like, we want to take this to the Supreme Reviews. Yeah. And then once they get it, right? Like, there should be something. Right? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. And what we saw... What?
No, go ahead.
Oh, maybe what we saw was it being moved up the chain to like higher level offices, and this person goes, yeah, that's fine. And then the next person goes, hold on, no, it ain't. And then then it goes up the queue, and that's what we've been seeing. Like, from the outside, we don't know what's going on at YouTube. It could just be 4 dudes sitting there being like, hey, I'm going to restrict this. And the other guy's like, I'm going to wait a day and unrestrict it. And, you know, that's a joke in the office, passing back and forth. We're messing up some YouTuber. That's what they do for fun.
It just seems like if a video gets 1 million views, there should be the one person who looks at the videos that get 1 million views and get age restricted. There can't be that many of those. And their job is to figure it out and get it right. Right?
Yeah. Because I'm just wondering how many 1 million viewed videos.
How many videos reach 1 million a day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
300 hours of video uploaded every minute. Yeah, so 5 billion videos are watched on YouTube every day. So at least 500 million. In theory, like a total amount. But I don't know. That could still be hundreds. Like, there are over 1 million YouTube channels with 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, but 1 million subscriber channels don't get 1 million views on every one of their videos, and they're not uploading every day if they're doing that.
No.
Right?
Well, I mean, YouTube rewards a consistent, regular, frequent upload cycle.
Yes, but that doesn't mean every day. I'm just saying, channels that get 1 million views or more on average, I don't think are uploading every day. Not that I've seen.
No.
Maybe there are. Maybe there are those, but I don't think there are many of them, if any at all.
I would be surprised to see that there are a lot. But, like, if you have 1 million channels and 500 of them make a video that day that will get over 1 million views, and each of them, let's say, anywhere between 10 minutes and an hour, that's a lot of time for people to have to dig through.
Yeah, for sure.
Every day.
Right, but again, it's only ones that get age restricted as well. It's not every single upload that reaches 1 million views.
That's true. I still feel like that's a lot of work to do, you know.
Yeah, could be too much. I
Could
don't
be.
know.
It
Or
could be.
maybe if something gets its age restricted flag flipped 4 times, then that goes to someone's office, and they're like, okay, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah,
Right?
maybe. I mean, what I assume is happening, what I actually assume is happening is some users flag it for something, right? Because users are dicks and we also all have different values. Someone goes, this is inappropriate, and it gets flagged, and the bot looks at it and goes, yeah, okay, flagged. And then a person goes, no, it's not. And then the bot goes, but it is. I assume it's a bot trying to do it, and that's just why it appears to have no consistency or communication between departments that are doing it, because the bot doesn't need to communicate with people. That's my theory on this.
Yeah.
If I had to guess,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's getting emails that say, we have reviewed your appeal for the following. We have reviewed your content carefully and confirmed that it violates our sex and nudity policy, which is, what the hell?
Right, which is
so
why
by we, they mean the robot saw some tits, and we're just trusting the robot on this one, because who has time for an hour-long Mega Man 2 video?
Right, I mean, not everyone's interested in Mega Man. I would struggle to sit through and watch that if you were paying me to do it every day.
Right. No, just saying. So when they say we've revealed the appeal, they mean our bot has.
Yeah, of course, the bot. Yeah,
is?
because it's YouTube's bot. It's still them. Like, if YouTube says we serve you recommended videos, they mean the bot. Right? There isn't a person there being like, oh, I think Falcon would like this one and then that one, and it's not what's happening. It's a bot. It's a bot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think they should say our bot has done this, or our algorithms, our computers. We ran the numbers, checked the math, hacked the planet, and we determined that Mega Man has got a sweet pair of tits. But
like, how stupid is that? It's like, no human has actually seen these tits, but the robot said there were, so we're restricting your video, right? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but when you've got the volume that they might have, you need the bot to do something, and the bot is going to make mistakes. And when the bot makes mistakes to a channel that has 5 million subscribers, that mistake is very public. That's what this is.
Certainly is.
Hopefully the bot learns from this. That's the best I can kind of hope for.
Yeah. Oh, what's crazy is, too, you remember when my channel kept getting hit with... Was it content? Do you remember this?
I do remember what this is. It kept getting flagged for inappropriate content or something.
Yeah. But every time I disputed it, they were like, yeah, you're cool. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say hundreds of times, but like 50 times, maybe? Like, there were months periods where it was like every video was getting flagged as inappropriate. And I was like, no, it's not. And they're like, you're right, man. Sorry. What's going on?
Yeah, I remember this.
So I don't think they had a person sit through and watch every one of those videos they flagged as inappropriate and to determine the bot was running haywire. Did they?
I don't know.
Maybe they did. I don't know. There needs to be a documentary on the people that do moderation for YouTube, because I would watch that.
Yeah, I would watch that too. It's possible that they have a second bot that just looks at ones that have been like people are claiming against. I mean, like, no. I would like to defend my work, and then it's like, okay, let's get the second bot to take a look.
Second opinion from an AI.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I always just figured that their moderation filter was borked for some reason, and that everything was getting flagged as inappropriate.
Oh yeah.
Like 50% of all videos are getting flagged, and they were just like.
I assume so. But if 50% of all videos were getting flagged, like, this was what, like 2 years ago this happened to you?
There would have been some news about it, yeah.
I mean, I would have assumed there was news about it, but if there wasn't, I would imagine that is such a backlog that they would still be dealing with that problem. I imagine. Like, not that it's still going, but just like, if like, okay, the bot incorrectly flagged 250 billion, not 250 billion, because it was 5 billion in a day, but like 2.5 billion hours worth of video every day for a week, and we have to now manually review all of this. They would still be like working on that for ages, I imagine.
Unless they had a bot do it.
But the bot broke the first time. You can't trust a bot twice.
No, the second bot, we said this, the review bot did it.
Right, then maybe
it was working.
The one that might be working.
Yeah, true. I've been running through a bunch of copyright claims for a song from bensound.com. That's back, so that's fun.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that classic one.
yeah. That
Neat.
song that you have the absolute rights to use from the creator of the song.
Yeah, the creator's entire shtick is, I create this music, you can use it in your stuff. Just put bensound.com in your video. And I'm like, cool. And then every year or two, somebody dumps that song into the copyright system in YouTube, and YouTube says, you can't use this song. This person owns it, because we don't check to see that the person who claimed it actually owns the song at all. We can't be bothered to do that. Assholes.
Well, I mean,
how hard would that be? You are putting this song into the YouTube copyright claim system. Prove you own it, please, and then we'll dump it in there.
Yeah, I mean that should go like that.
Yeah.
I just wonder if you own a song and you say, "Hey, you can use this song," just like credit me or put this hashtag or whatever in your search field or whatever. And then like 3 years later they go, "Oh no, I want to start claiming on all those."
Yeah, that'd be fine. If it was bensound.com being like, "Yo, I want to claim this," I'd be like, "Cool." But it's always freaking Warner Brothers Studios. It's not. Nope. You are not the person. You're not bensound.com. You are Warner Brothers. Die in a fire. Anyway.
Or Bensound. Does Warner Brothers own Bensound? Because they probably have a lot of subsidiaries.
Well, but once again, every time I dispute one of these claims, it comes back as you're cool.
Right. Like, did you know Warner Brothers owns Rooster Teeth now?
No. That
So
doesn't surprise me.
Warner Brothers owns the people that make Red vs. Blue. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And by make Red vs. Blue, you mean made Red vs. Blue 10 years ago.
Well, they made good Red vs. Blue 10 years ago. They're still making
Red vs. Blue?
Yeah, it's just not nearly as good.
Oh no! Warner Brothers owns it now. Yeah,
yeah. That and like a bunch of the people who founded the company have left. So it's probably a bit of both. Red vs. Blue used to be machinima, so you would shoot in a game to make the thing. Now it's entirely animated, but they still animate it to look like it's made in a game. So it's entirely 100% animated, but all they're doing is having the people stand there with their guns and nod their heads in time to the dialogue. When it's like, you could be animating them to do anything else or just put it back in the fucking game. It's like, no, we're gonna animate that.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's so stupid.
It's gotta be a cost of. How could it be more cost efficient to animate something from scratch than it is to go in a video game and record the screen of characters doing stuff? It can't be.
It can't be.
So it's just like the corpse of Red versus Blue is like dangling from the precipice, and Warner Brothers like jiggles the strings every once in a while.
Yes.
Why are they doing that? They can't be getting views.
I don't know. I've honestly no idea. I assume that when they sold it to them, or they sold the company, there was probably an agreement that it's like, this show will go on for at least X amount of seasons.
Okay. But like all the people who made it good are gone.
Well, all the people who made it good stopped making it like a while ago. So there were a couple decent seasons and like an anthology season that were all written and produced mostly by other people. They just had the original cast on as voice actors. Like, they stopped writing it a while ago. Yeah. So it's it's more like, it has been good. We can still make it good. Let's try this new thing, and it's not good. Yeah.
They're still getting like 30,000 views a video, though. I guess that's not nothing.
That's not nothing, but it's also not like...
They were averaging like 1 million views an episode 7 years ago. So,
right. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. Just scrolling through hundreds of 700, 800,000 views, 1 million views. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So being down to 30 is pretty tepid.
It's pretty rough. Pretty rough. What do you expect? They're a podcast company now. So.
Yeah. You know that.
What's their most popular video? The most popular video was they made a parody trailer for Angry Birds the movie.
Sure.
11 years ago, well before any actual Angry Birds movie. I think there was one now, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was one.
Yeah. 26 million views.
Dang.
Yeah.
How much money did the Angry Birds movie make? I need to figure this out real quick. Hang on.
Okay.
So I mean, $300 million. So if you take that and divide it by like $10 a movie ticket, right?
Mm-hmm. You wonder if more people saw the parody trailer than actually watched the movie. I'm assuming
35 million people bought a ticket to Angry Birds.
That's slightly more than people and watched the trailer.
That is so close.
But also, the cost to watch the trailer was free. So,
True. No, it's true.
Yeah.
But just as far as sheer exposure is concerned, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I bet they realize that. I bet they talk about that sometimes. Like, man, we have as much exposure. Many people watched our stuff as the actual movie that Hollywood made.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. So Rings of Power. I'll just talk about that for a minute.
Sure.
Before we go. So stuff happened. They did all the setting up in the first 4 episodes, and then stuff happened.
Oh, cool.
So basically Mount Doom erupted because a human put
a ring in it? Oh.
What?
They put a ring in it?
No, there haven't been any rings yet. I'm a little confused about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So apparently this completely does not jive with the lore, but again, the show isn't ultra concerned about that, obviously.
No.
But yeah, so like a human, there's a crazy dagger weapon thingy that reacts to human blood and like does fire and stuff.
Right, I saw that. Yep.
Yeah. So apparently if you take that and put it into a notch at the base of the mountain, it's like a keyhole.
Okay.
And then turn it, then it opens the river to flow through these ways and dump into Mount Doom, and then it goes because dumping water into lava makes it explode, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a geologist. That sounds maybe reasonable.
It makes a lot of steam.
Yeah.
And if you had enough water, rock.
Yeah. So maybe the steam created enough pressure that the top blows off.
Maybe. But the steam would be on top of the rock, not under it.
No, but it flows into... So there's like this inner cavern in Mount Doom.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't flow on like directly into like the top of the caldera. It flows like
No.
internally to like under the lava area.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
So it just creates enough steam pressure that it goes... And then Galadriel dies because she gets hit with a wave of lava and smoke. And I don't think she can survive that. But at the same time, it's Galadriel, so we know she's fine.
Did she have a twin sister? Maybe.
That was the thing that got me most. Like, there's all this fighting between humans and elves, and it's some pretty good fight choreography. And like, there's a Gondor moment where the riders of Numenor show up and they save the people that are under attack in the Southlands by the orcs. Yada yada yada.
Okay.
But then, as they're celebrating their victory, dude's over on Mount Doom across the way, and then it explodes, and all this lava's flowing down, and like this huge wave, like you've seen the 9/11 videos when one of the towers collapses and all of the like debris cloud just whoosh comes at everyone.
Right.
That's what it is. It's like a giant smoke, debris, lava cloud flowing at this town. And everyone's like, run away, get away. And Galadriel's just like, shit, that's not good. And then it goes and completely envelops her. And then it's like, episode over. And I was like, so
she's dead.
So
do you know when Pompeii erupted, people were fleeing in the boats, choked to death from the smoke?
Yeah, right?
So,
smoke is crazy dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure she's fine, but I'm really having a hard time with this.
Elves don't need oxygen. They're made of magic. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, if the answer is she's magic, whatever. I'm down,
I mean,
guess.
She didn't drown. Clearly, she doesn't need air.
I mean, she almost drowned once. She had to get pulled up to the surface, but I don't know. Maybe she could have been down there for a while and she would have been okay.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Elves are magic. I think
she should not live that.
No. But I don't know. The rest of it's pretty good. Like, I watched the Critical Drinker video on it, and he does make a good point. There's a lot of questions we still have that aren't even remotely being answered yet. So that would be nice to maybe get some of the answers for some of the things. Like, he totally thinks that there's this. So she's out in the water, and this raft of castaways saves her, and then there's this dude, right, who is the king of the Southland, but he's running away. And Critical Drinker is convinced that this dude is Sauron, like hiding as a regular human.
Okay. But why?
And Galadriel just installed him as the king of the Southlands, which actually are now covered with lava. So maybe it doesn't matter anymore. I don't know. I have so many questions.
Why would Sauron be hiding as a human?
I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. Like in the show, they're like Sauron was waging war against the elves, and then he stopped and went away. We don't know why. It's like, well, but okay, what's he doing? The show's like, I don't know. All right, neat. And then what's his face? So then there's another dude, a corrupted elf, who says that he killed Sauron.
Okay.
But like Galadriel doesn't believe him. I don't know, man. It's kind of all over the place.
What? She doesn't believe him 'cause she found the castle up in the wintry north, right? And it's like, oh, someone's been here doing stuff recently, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. And the dude says that. The corrupted elf is like, we were in the north and he was sacrificing thousands of orcs and elves and trying to get this dark magic that he was hunting, and he couldn't figure it out. And he was murdering everyone, so I killed him because he was nuts. And she's like, nah, that didn't happen.
I mean, the problem is, if this is supposed to be canonical with the Lord of the Rings, then yeah, we know that didn't happen.
Right. But how much do they care about it? I don't know how much they care about that.
I think they have to care about it, because if they don't, people won't watch this. Like, people will be unhappy if they're just like, yeah, so Sauron died, Galadriel died, and the Lord of the Rings never happened. Like
how weird would it be if it's like Sauron's dead, and then what's his name? Celebrimbor. What's his name? Celebrimbor made the rings, and Sauron was dead, and it's like, oh, okay, this doesn't make any sense.
And the elves never faded from the world because they had the magic rings, which kept all the magic around.
Right.
And then, yeah, Bilbo never went on any adventures.
And yeah,
the Age of Men never came. In fact, elves got kind of bored with them and killed them all.
Yeah, alternate history stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
Would be crazy if that's what they did.
That would be crazy.
Like, we're making our own story now.
That would be crazy. I don't think it would be well received at the end of it.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, good. I'm gonna keep watching it. Good stuff happens, and I need to know how Galadriel is alive. Although, again, I'm sure the answer is she's magic. Don't think about it too much.
She's got a magical rebreather mask that she just like puts in, like the Jedi's in Phantom Menace. They just play, look, we got water breathing tech. Just keep it in our pockets. Don't tell anyone.
Like, it's volcanic stuff. It's raging lava hot too. It'll bake you alive. It's not just the smoke.
No, it's true. It's true.
Oh, man. So whatever. It's cool, I guess. I do think, just to criticize the critical drinker a bit, he's like super mad that Galadriel is this girl boss character, right? Who like always thinks she's right and pisses people off all the time and is proven right more often than not. It's like, that's a movie character. Like, there's been tons of dudes who are the exact same way. They're assholes to everyone. Nobody likes them, but they're right about most of the stuff. And they don't care about anyone else's feelings, and they manipulate everybody. It's okay, say it. So what does it bother you that a woman's doing this? Is that you're just mad because she doesn't have a penis and she's doing this? Dude, come on. I just found that a pretty hollow criticism that he was really like worked up about.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. He gets angry at that kind of thing a lot, I feel.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. There's a line that he walks between like legitimate criticism for the criticism of art and then criticism that's like sexist or racist. And the line can get fuzzy sometimes. It can be hard to determine motivations when you're walking that line as much as he is. It's tough. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway. Rings of Power. I had somebody comment the other day. I mentioned Rings of Power in one of my Brood War casts. And two different people were like, you talked about Rings of Power. I'm unsubscribing. And I'm like, what the hell? Really? Okay. You can't hear someone talk about a thing without being overwhelmed with a sense that you need to flee. I really don't get that one. I've never had that happen before for any TV or movie property.
I've definitely seen like other creators talk about it, being like, "Oh, you mentioned X," and even like just in passing reference, and they're like, "All right, so I'm unsubscribing." It's like, wow, really? It's
Yeah,
like, we don't all have to like and watch the same things, guys.
No, we really don't.
Yeah.
And I've had people that are sometimes like, dude, stop talking about movies that I don't care about. It's like, yeah, I understand. Okay, I get that, man. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But to be like, this particular property pisses me off so much, I need to voice my disapproval and unsubscribe from your channel. It's just like, dang, that is a lightning rod.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Yeah. Oh, it's Kid with the Eye. What's up, Kid with the Eye?
With one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a gnarly scar. Holy crap, he's going to look awesome.
Yep.
It's a Dragon Rider with a super cool eye scar.
Yeah, Dragon Rider with an eye patch. That'd be pretty sick.
I don't know. I honestly feel like a scar going across your eye is cooler than an eye patch.
I think the scar across the eye is cooler if you can still open the eye.
Oh, interesting. But if it's just like shut all the time, or your eye is just like missing and there's a gaping hole there,
yeah,
not as cool.
Not as cool. Stick an eye patch on it.
Yeah, probably right. Mob Psycho's coming tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay, I'm really excited about that. Man, I love Mob Psycho so much.
It's good,
I like
yeah.
more than anything we've talked about in like the last 2 years.
Really?
Maybe. Mob Psycho is so good.
I don't know that I finished season 2.
It's all power of friendship, man. Done. I don't know why I like it so much. I try to think about why, but man, it's just the most heartwarming thing.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I'm very excited.
Yeah, I am excited for it too. There's a whole lot of I'm also excited for Chainsaw Man. There's a bunch of new anime coming out this season. Yeah.
Yeah. Fall season.
Yeah, fall season. Autumn.
Yeah.
Totally not spring here.
Nope.
Yep.
Japan's in the northern hemisphere. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Good.
All right, time to wrap it up. Anything else?
Nothing major that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's Overwatch 2 today as well.
It is.
And I think it's really weird. There's something that I want to talk about because StarCraft 2 came out and people were like, "This is okay, but I still prefer Brood War," right? So they went back to Brood War.
A lot of people said that, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the pros, like in Korea, did too. So what they did with Overwatch, which has a competitive scene and is like their competitive baby at the moment, is we're like, the day before we launch Overwatch 2, we're shutting down and removing Overwatch 1 entirely.
Right.
So there is no going back if you don't like whatever changes they've made. All of your skins and stuff transfer over, and it's a free game, so you don't need to actually buy it. It's basically a patch for all intents and purposes. What it turns out is it's you download a new version of the game, and you have all your stuff, so it's a patch. But they actively call it Overwatch 2 and shut down Overwatch 1.
Yeah, I mean, it really seems like it's closer to a patch with a couple new characters than a whole new game, for sure.
Right. I wonder if it could be all new maps as well. I assume, right? But I just don't see the point in shutting down Overwatch 1, other than to force people to have no choice but to play Overwatch 2.
And that's the thing. I think you're right. I think maybe they're reacting to what happened with StarCraft.
But if people don't like the changes, they don't have anything else to go and play, and you can milk them for money from.
That's true. So you've got boxes, right? So like box 1 is people that hate the concept of Overwatch 2. They really loved Overwatch 1. They're never going to play Overwatch 2, and they're leaving Overwatch entirely, right?
Right. Yeah.
Number 2 is people that would have stayed in Overwatch if it was available to them, but will go to Overwatch 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a box. And then you have people who would just go to Overwatch 2 because it's the new hotness, no matter what, and just abandon Overwatch 1.
Right.
So they're just trying to get the people in box 2. They're trying to be like those people who would stick behind in Overwatch 1. We're forcing them into Overwatch 2, and we're getting their business. And anyone who is going to stay in Overwatch 1 and never go to Overwatch 2 out of spite or whatever, like screw them anyway. We don't need them regardless. I don't know.
The problem is, if you at least leave Overwatch 1 up, they're still going to pay money. Like, they're still going to, like, buy loot boxes, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And the problem for Blizzard with Brood War was there was no microtransactions.
Right.
They tried to add some, and they did add a couple skins and a couple announcer packs you could buy and stuff, but
that was with
what they did with StarCraft 2.
That was in the remastered version, though, right?
Yes.
So you had to buy a whole nother version of the game.
Right, but for 7 years, Brood War had no microtransaction capability at all. So all these people that were like, screw StarCraft 2, we're going back to Brood War, Blizzard was getting nothing from them. So you're right. If you're going back to Overwatch 1, hypothetically, you're still able to buy skins and loot boxes and stuff and give them some income. So it's a good point. I don't know.
No, it's just weird.
It is weird. Oh, and then, I mean, Blizzard claiming they're DDoS, but like all the logon servers for Overwatch 2 are overwhelmed. So,
yeah, I mean, they could be DDoS. They could just be they had more traffic than they expected.
Or, as I always say, nobody wants to pay for the server space and power for one day.
Right. That's probably what it is. Yeah.
That's what it is. They're just like, look, it doesn't make any sense for us to have enough server space to account and for everybody who's going to play on day one.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, screw them. Day one's going to suck, but we're never going to hit that peak again. Mm-hmm. And it will just keep going down. It'll be a better experience for everyone, and we don't have to pay anything. So
unless you have a hit anime come out, and then you're suddenly seeing the highest record users ever.
Right. But they don't. But CD Projekt Red doesn't have any servers because it's not a multiplayer game.
It's not a multiplayer game, but you do connect to their online service because it's got its own launcher, and you can log in to get rewards.
That's true.
So there is some sort of
a little bit.
I haven't had any issues. I haven't heard of people being unable to play Cyberpunk. So even though they have got increased demand, it could just be a totally different thing that they're doing, and so, you know, checking an account and being like, yep, you own the game, go ahead and play, is different to we need to connect you to like 6 people in a lobby, you know?
Yeah. It's way more demanding.
Right.
The latter there, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So whatever. Still not playing Overwatch.
I am probably going to play a little bit of this with some friends, just casually, but not because I want to play Overwatch, but because I want to play with my friends, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. It's still funny to me that if they had come out with a campaign like they originally planned, I probably would have bought Overwatch.
Yeah.
But they just never did, and I was like,
There were campaign missions you could play, but there was no set, like, this is the campaign. It was like, and like 4 other people jump in and do like a little mission. And it's like, okay, that's cool. Does the story continue mission to mission? No, they're all like individual stories. And like, but I can play them whenever I want. It's like, no, they'll be in rotation.
Yeah. There's like, we don't want to keep track of any lore. Screw you. We have characters, they have backstories, they do stuff. Nothing's connected. Leave us alone.
I mean, a lot of it is loosely connected, but loosely is the key word there. But also, if they change lore, it's like, no, fuck you, she was a pro gamer. No, it was a dad that played StarCraft. Like, I'm still bitter.
Blizzard doesn't care. Blizzard doesn't care.
Nope.
All right, cool.
Cool.
Is that?
I think that's about it.
Okay, sounds good. So that's going to be us, Falcon Paladin, and Somicron with another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour, streamed live at twitch.tv/Somicron on Tuesday nights if you're in North America or whatever, and Wednesday mornings if you're in Australia or Japan.
Nope, 12 o'clock afternoon, technically, midday.
This goes from 11 to 12. Yeah, that's right. So it's afternoon. It's midday for Australia. Mm-hmm. It's like, anyway. Yep. So check that out. You can also find these on YouTube if you want to watch there. Mm-hmm. Just go to YouTube and search Falcon Paladin Hour. That comes up pretty easily. Also on your podcast app, whichever one you use. You can support the podcast directly at patreon.com/Somicron or at falconpaladin.store for your merch needs. And until next time, as always, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking around with us, and you take care of yourself.